Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there tonight? I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Mannimal Research. I got my little buddy with me here tonight. This is my right hand man, Mr. Caden, right here. Wanted to introduce him to everybody. Caden, what do you think about Bigfoot? You like him? You do? Or when you get bigger, you gonna help me look for Bigfoot? You are? Okay. How old are you?
7.
You're 7. All right. You good? All right, you go get on your phone. He just wanted to jump on and say hi to everybody. Go get on your phone, buddy.
But I want to show her something.
No, you gotta go, buddy. Go. Ricky, how's it going tonight, buddy?
Hi, going good, Wayne.
Good.
Been disgusted about all this stuff taking place around the state. As I was telling Daryl a minute ago there, Blake and I went over to Blue Ridge WMA this past week and had some real good things happen while we were over there. I'm still working on getting the audio brought up on that. But, as I sent you that email this morning that the state sent me yesterday, as of yesterday at 10:21 yesterday morning, they have closed the Chattahoochee National Forest completely down to any type of camping, picnicking activities, the whole 9 yards. No fishing, no hunting, no nothing. And here in Georgia right now, we're in the middle of our turkey season, and there's a lot of turkey hunting that does go on the Chattahoochee. Trout season is now starting to kick in, and man, it's really going to put a hurt on everybody.
Yeah, I know it, man. It's crazy. I've never in my life seen anything like this. What about you? You're a little bit older than me. You ever seen anything like this?
No, I've never encountered anything like this. I know my dad was like 79 when he passed away. He passed away back in 89, and he told me that we were in Alabama one time at a little community called Hopewell, and he and I were out walking through the cemetery, which is a huge cemetery down there, and he was telling me that in 1 week, this was back in the late 20s when they had the Spanish flu come through. He said in 1 week that there was 750 funerals in that cemetery. So,
oh my goodness!
It's unreal, and with what's going on now around the world, especially Italy, it's just, man, it makes you sit back and think. It really does.
Yeah, man. It's absolutely scary what we got going on out there. It makes you think that the stuff that we're doing, I feel like is important, but it's nothing compared to what some of these people are facing out there, and people are getting sick. You guys take care of yourself. I know the regulations they could be a pain in the butt, and they might not be necessary. I'm not one to say if they are or if they aren't, but just everybody take care of yourself out there, and be good to each other. All right, you got anything else, Ricky?
Now let's go ahead and bring Mr. Daryl on.
All right, before we do, I want to ask everybody, as always, go check out mannimalresearch.com. Submit your encounters and your reports there. And if you guys are watching here tonight, those of you that are going to watch it later, hit that subscribe button for us. We certainly appreciate it. Show us a little bit of love. And just like Ricky was saying, we want to welcome back Mr. Daryl Owen. He absolutely blew us away last week. That was, in my opinion, and from what I've gathered from a bunch of our watchers, our viewers, that everyone seems to agree that was probably our best show. Certainly, I think our most informative. Daryl has some good stuff to show, and he's got some more really good things to talk about tonight. So we are excited to have him back, and if he's ready, Mr. Daryl, there you are, sir. How's it going?
Good evening, everybody. How are you tonight?
Good, everybody. I hope everybody's good. How's it going out in California?
Oh, it's same old sticky stuff. You know how that is. Trying to get through the barricades, go to work, try to find some toilet paper. That's hard to find.
Yeah.
You gotta go to good old Walmart and find toilet paper, and there's people in there fighting over the toilet paper. It's pretty bad in my lifetime.
Hey man, I don't
Roll of
know
toilet
where your Walmart is out there, Daryl, but I put a mask on yesterday and gloves, went down to our local Walmart here, and hey, they're out of everything.
Yeah, they're out of everything down here. It's like you go to when in our world now, it's even for everybody is when a toilet paper's got more value than a block of gold. It's pretty bad. You know what I mean? I mean, people are beating each other up in the store. It's just crazy. So,
Yeah.
but a lot of us over this order. Now, I don't know if it falls back on you guys yet, but here in California, especially California, you have to have some kind of permission slip to get to and from work. And if you don't, they turn you around and make you go home. You have to be an essential employee or doing some kind of essential work. You have to be going to the store, going to to get food or going to get some kind of food. All of our restaurants are closed. The only way you can get food is through drive ups. I'm sorry. We just went to Chili's down the street and had to order on our phone and wait for them to bring our food out to us. And that's one of our favorite places to eat. So it's getting pretty strict here. I mean, the orders that we have, it started on March 19th, 2020 at 11:59 p.m. and it's enforced. I went to work and even got stopped, and they asked me what I was doing, and I said, I'm going to work. I'm an essential person at my job. I have to go to my work. And it's like, okay, well, let me see your papers. So I kind of, let me see your papers. I kind of felt like I was under some kind of mandated arrest, So the police officer said, okay, go straight to work. And I said, where else am I supposed to go? It's 5:30 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Kind of makes a man realize what people go through in the foreign countries under communist rule, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes you appreciate your freedom. Trust me. That's why I got Old Glory back there hanging behind me.
Yes, sir. I know. I'm sure some of our loyal viewers noticed that we had to come on a little bit later tonight. We got a 30-minute. We were backed up about 30 minutes, and it's because I was running late, and another part was because Daryl was had a hard time getting home because of everything that's going on out there. And man, I don't envy you, buddy. That's got to be tough out there.
I take all responsibility for us being late tonight. I could not get home fast enough. Sending pictures to you, showing what the traffic was like. People were, and it's like I'm trying to get through this barricade, and it was horrible. So, and I apologize, you guys, for being a half an hour late. So
no, it's fine. It's fine. Like I said, I needed the time too. I was running a little bit late myself.
I'm still in my work clothes, so that kind of tells you something. So I'm sitting here kind of grungy feeling, but I apologize if my hair's a little messed up here, but we're trying to get by, So let me show you this while I'm standing here. This is our order. So you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Wayne, bring it up on full screen, bud.
Yeah. So everybody can see this. And there's the number of people in COVID-19. Distance requirements of 6 feet. And all individuals currently living within the county of Sacramento are ordered to stay at home or place of residence. To the extent individuals are using shared or outdoor spaces, they must at all times, as reasonably possible, to maintain social distance at least 6 feet from any other person. And that is signed, and there's 8 pages of signatures on here. And the very back page, right back here, it tells you that it went in effect. Right here, tells you it went into effect. Let me get this, grab a hold of this here. Right there, 11:59 p.m. March 19th, and it's effective until the 7th. Now they've upped that until the 27th now. So we're all under some kind of rule here, and we're all having to abide by the rule. But I'm an essential employee. My wife is an essential employee. you know, she does medical stuff. I'm not. I do stuff with. I'm a self-service manager, a storage facility manager, and people have their items in the storage facility, and they've got to be able to get to their stuff in there, which is considered mortgage. So
Yeah.
But you drive down our streets, and the traffic is bad. It's just dead. And the people that are wanting to get home, they're stopping to make it, you know, I got to show this, or where are you going, and why are you there? Why are you over here? It's getting really bad. So, and like I said, there's no toilet paper. So if you got to go, you're in trouble.
I don't. Yeah, you're on the West Coast. We're all the way over here on the East Coast. I don't know if it'll get that bad over here, but man, I feel for you, buddy. That's terrible.
I'm praying for everybody. Trust me. I just want this. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm a Christian man, and all I can do is, get on my hands and knees and pray that it doesn't get any worse. So,
praise
right?
God. God is good, and prayer works. Everybody out there, keep that in mind. Just pray. Get on your knees and pray, everybody. It works. All right. Well, enough of all that. Everybody's here to talk about the big guy.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna let you get started.
We're gonna go back a ways, back into 1993. During the time of my sighting in 1993, I did happen to get some hair, and it was sent down to a doctor named Sterling Burnell. He was a hair pathologist, or whatever they call those people back there. And this is the actual letter right here. This is the actual letter, and it states right up in here, it says, the specimen hairs are remarkable and extremely fine and diffuse pigmentation. The other species show dark here we go. Let me show it like this. There we go. So you can see that it was dated up here 93 to me. And there's the man's signature. And there's his address. And that's me down there. But it says right here that it is some criteria of human. It says, on the basis of surface and internal structure, it seems more like gorilla hair than human or chimp. While by the same criteria, human and chimp appear closely related, the specimen hairs are remarkable in an extremely fine and diffuse pigmentation. The other species show dark melanine clumps and whatever that is, and the absence of observable medullary structure. I would like to get some scanning electron microscope pictures of these hairs, which could give us a much more accurate comparison. So back in 93, they didn't have a whole lot of DNA. They didn't have a lot of DNA machines where they could take the hair and tear it up and place it up. Okay, so when you get hair, now this last time that we went out on March 1st, we went out, and it was my wife and Scott Hayes and myself. We all went up, and we went up to our favorite spot. We found a footprint. Like I said, I think it was a bear, but we just happened to find some hair. Some more hair, and they're about 14 inches long. There is some gray hair in there. If you look right there, there's a gray hair. Now, I would take it out of this, you guys, out of a little plastic jar, but I don't want to contaminate it. I did pick it up. I don't mess around with it. Now, here's the deal with hair. So I'm going to get back into one of these really weird conspiracy theories, which I don't think is a conspiracy theory, but it's when you send the hair off, right off the bat, it costs you $2,000 a strand.
A strand,
$2,000 a strand. And then when you send it off and they get it and they find out what it really is, they send it back to you. And then all of a sudden, now the government is now going to get involved. They get involved with this, and they tell the person that's doing the DNA, don't do that. And then they knock on your door. Now, here's what happened to us. So I sent some hair off. I had it DNA tested. I have the letters. I can't show them because I'm under a gag order, but I will tell you that I have sent them to Wayne, and he can verify my letters that he has them. Sent them off, and They were gone a couple of weeks. They came back, and it was an absolute match to a unknown primate. Well, the unknown primate was never really discovered. It was never really discussed. But I will tell you how they know that it was an unknown primate. Down in Felton, California, there is a very small, tiny Bigfoot museum, and the man down there, I don't know his name, he has teeth. He has teeth of a Gigantopithecus. And that Gigantopithecus, they have taken the DNA from those teeth, and they have these gnome blocks, or whatever they're called, throughout the United States in the gene pool, where you can take my hair and do it, and that's a 56-year-old male. So they have this classification of these things. I sent my hair off. I had 12 strands done, and yes, it cost me a lot of money. Had 12 strands done, came back, and I got the certified mail back, and it came back as a matching unknown primate of a Gigantopithecus. Well, I was excited, and I'm completely I'm ready to go. I want to call the media. I want to get people involved. I wanted to get everybody involved. Everybody, and I mean including everybody. I mean, from people that I mentioned in my last show, Josh Gates. I wanted to get Melba Ketchum in here. I wanted to get all these people involved. 2 hours later, a knock on the door. I stood there, I looked through the peephole, and there is a sheriff and a man in a black suit standing there. Now, just like UFOs and just like everybody else, they have the men in black. I opened up the door, and the man handed me a piece of paper, and he goes, "You Mr. Owen?" And I said, "Absolutely, I am." And he goes, "I'm going to give you this." And I looked at it for a minute, and I opened it up. And to just completely of it, 100%. And it's 100%. So he handed me the paper, and he goes, "This is your suppression order." And he goes, "Do you know what a suppression order, Mr. Owen, is?" I said, "I don't." He goes, "You can't talk about it. You can't tell anybody. You can't do anything." And I said, "What do you mean I can't talk about it?" He said, "You can't say the name of where you had it done. If you do tell them where it's done and it gets out, they're not even going to, you're going to go to jail. They're going to defraud you. They're going to call you a hoaxer. They're going to tell you, they're going to IRS audit you." And you know what they do? The last letter I got, they said that they want to follow us every time that we go out. And we've been followed several times by this big black, like almost like a Crown Vic, these old police cars, but they're changing them up on us now. So, and my truck really stands out. I mean, my vehicle is an advertisement vehicle for the Northern California Bigfoot Paranormal Research Team, for us, the NCBPRA. So when I take my truck out, people get in behind us and they drive us out there. Well, we don't go to our favorite spot because we know we're being followed. So sometimes we sneak out. We take my wife's car, which can be followed. Everybody knows what it is. But that's just my point about this, everybody, is I'm trying to make everybody understand that when you find something of such a delicate thing, don't just send it off to whoever, especially to somebody that's government affiliated. They don't want to start a pandemonium and all that stuff. It's really kind of scary when you think about it. But when you get the gag orders and the suppression orders and there's threats there, it scares you. And I've been sitting here. Let's see, I started in May or 1993 was my first clump of hair. March of 2016, May of 2016, June of 2017 through March 1st of 2020, I've collected hair. I've had 3 batches of hair done. And
now this sample that you're talking about now that came back as Gigantopithecus.
Yep.
When was it taken, and when did you get the results?
That was taken on uh, 1/25/2016, and it came back. Sorry, I'm trying to I have to be cautious. You know that.
Oh yeah.
let me see. It says, not that one. This, by the way, when I did send my first clump of hair in to them, I sent them some poop in an envelope. And they wrote back on the letter back to me, never to send poop in an envelope because it's considered biohazard. So I kind of ruffled their feathers a little bit there.
Yeah,
So,
I would imagine so.
So, and they got a lice sample out of it. Oh, here we go. All right, so I can probably show you. I'll show you this one. This is part of the letter right here. It says, it says, though it might be extinct, once was a large upright gorilla known as Gigantopithecus blackie that roamed the wilds of China, and very small amounts of scientific common culture community believes that, that the known gorilla did, in fact, live in the forests of the United States. Gigantopithecus is an extinct gene of ape that exists perhaps 9 million years ago and recently as 100,000 years ago, placing Gigantopithecus in the same time frame as geological location as here. While it is important to bear in mind that absence of DNA from a large upright bipedal mammalian known as Bigfoot or Yeti is yet to be proven, we do have Gigantopithecus DNA material that is pertinent and authentic to the validity of survival of the bipedal hominid. And it says, Bigfoot is considered to be living all over the world just under different names. A primate with such characteristics like Gigantopithecus blackie is extremely rare and elusive. And we're going to go to one more.
Guys, I've been telling you.
Going to go to one more. Let's see, not this one. Okay, so here's oh, that's, no, I can't read that one. Sorry. We're going to keep going. We're going to go to the next one here. Trying to get
one of our viewers there, Chris, he brings up a good point. He says, you know, that find was recent. You know, that the creature is still probably up there.
Oh, it is. Here's the hair. And I know it's the same. I know it's the same one. And I'll tell you why I know it's the same one. Is that the footprints haven't gotten larger. The hair is still the same color as it was a couple of years ago. It's just got a little bit more gray in it. And I will tell you that the hair is this long. It's 12 to 14 inches long. Now, I've never seen a bear with hair that long. But you also have to remember that it was 7 feet up off the ground where we collected it from, in a big clump. It had snow in it. It had water in it. It was half frozen. So, and it stinks. This batch still smells. When we got it, Scott himself goes, it smells terrible. And it does. That's why it's in a plastic container. But at one point in time, they did do a thing called an Olaf machine or some kind of smelling machine to it. So, but I want to try to, and I'm sorry I didn't have this ready, you guys, when I got here. I apologize. And I know
you're fine, man. You're fine.
And I'm digging through these papers here.
We will trade that for the information that you're giving us any day.
All right, here it is right here. Okay, so here's the letter. So it says here, the unknown DNA sequences revealed has to do with clumps of DNA called centronomes, which hold together all strands of DNA. There are 2 separate strands of DNA that make up a chromosome. The puzzling and so obscure characteristics is a revelation to us. 290 of 345 centronomes we studied, the follow matching centronomes match a Gigantopithecus blackie. I have reported them. I have repositioned them again on their chromosome scale, doing the following cross-reference in the GRCH38 index of 1091 to 1195, 3 times placed with the assistance of Professor blah, 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 and the match coincides with the unknown blackie. The strands definitely match the known bipedal creature. So let me see. Let me make sure I don't have anybody's names on here. Okay, so here's the letter. I'm going to try to pop this up here. And let me bring this back a little bit. So here's the matching the blackie right here. Let me unfold this. Here we go. So yields. And there's a There's a name on that one, so I have to be careful. But anyways, I have proof. I have the proof. I have everything I need. Now I've got footprints. I have hair. I have proof. I have everything I need to do this. And you know what I don't have is a body. And you know what I won't ever give them? A body. I won't ever kill one. I'm not a hunter. I'm not that kind of person. I will never, ever tell anybody where I'm going and give them the opportunity. Now, everybody's going to say, yes, the hair was matted together. This hair was matted together when I found it. It's now in a, I would call it a, this is not. This is from 2000. This is 2020 hair. See?
But you think it's the hair from the same creature as the 2016?
Absolutely. No hand. It's exactly the same thing. So when we go out now, it's a secret.
Yeah.
So when the hair got done, like I said, there was a knock on the door. I got handed a letter, and this is what it says. So I'm going to read this, and it's right here. I'm going to show this real quick so you don't see the name. There it is right there. Okay. Now somebody's going to pause it, and they're going to read it. So here we go. It says, studies is confidential to the client, administrator, or health official. You are being appraised of this document. Under no circumstance it is to be placed, posted, or shown, and only be to be reviewed by the receiving party. Under punishment by law, any release of information from this receiving person or persons will be prosecuted. The blah, blah, blah has all the rights and responsibilities to prosecute and place restrictions on the known receivers of the following document: hair, fecal, any or any document that is from blah, blah, blah. This is a legal binding order restricting information and content of this letter from being made public or passed on to an unauthorized third party. Electronically signed by blah, blah, blah. So, once again, this is the government. This is how they interfere in your life. When you have proof, this is why I said there's three things out there that are really going on right now. There's paranormal, Bigfoot, and UFOs. And what's the one thing that they don't get involved with? They don't get involved with paranormal stuff, but they get involved with Bigfoot and they get involved with UFOs. Let me see. Now this says, do you have photos of finding the hair? Yes, we have photos of hair. I have photos of people with me that helped me get the hair. I will send them to Wayne, and he can put them on the wherever he wants to put them. I think, you want me to send you one now, or does it take too long to put it on there?
It takes a minute to download it, but I'll get it on our Facebook page.
I'll put it on there for you. I'll send you one as soon as we're done. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the deal that I'm trying to stress to you all. When you get evidence, you hang on to that evidence. Never give them anything. Don't give anybody nothing. Okay. And if you do it, and I learned the hard way, is I trusted too many people. I've trusted family members. I've trusted the government, because I want to come out. I really want to. I want to share all my information. But here's the thing about it: I'm afraid to go to jail. I've never been to jail. I've never been behind bars. Knock on wood. I'm not the perfect guy in the world. I break the law, but I don't want to go to jail. So I don't want to lose my home. I don't want them to invade my house. I'm tired of getting tickets. I've had 3 tickets in 4 years, all because of little stupid stuff. Where are you going, Mr. Owen? Oh, I'm going up here. Well, why? And I've changed vehicles twice, and they still know who I am. So they know me by my first name. I'm a gun owner, and I have trouble getting every time I get pulled over, well, where's your gun at? Well, my clip's in the glove box and my backpack, the gun's in my backpack, Well, I want to see all that paperwork. So don't trust people. Don't trust government entities. Don't, when you send it off to them, their first word is, oh my God, I got to report this. Bam, their door is wide open. Then you're going to get that knock on the door with that guy that's in black, and he was from the Department of Interior, and he handed me this, and that was his exact words, that you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you say anything.
So what you did was you sent them just a small sample of the hair that you found. You still have the majority of it, right?
I sent them 13 strands of 25 strands that we found.
Okay.
Didn't
So
send
you still have most of it.
Oh yeah, I still have hairs left. And I got a letter back because I wrote them a letter. Does it reflect under a microscope? No, it does not. Not that I'm aware of. It doesn't say that in the paperwork. So, absolutely I do. You have no idea what kind of scrutiny and laws I'm under over here.
Now, I'm pretty sure this guy asking questions here is Josh Meyer. He is a member of our research team out in Missouri. He's a police officer.
Okay. So they're when they come and they knock on your door, and it was from the Department of Interior, they give you these papers. They give you these sheets of paper that says that you're going to be arrested if you talk to anybody. You know, that's scary stuff. It's just plain and simple scary stuff. And if they get involved, you're just going to disappear. And then what are you going to tell them in jail? Gee, I found some hair. You know, you got to remember, you got to go way back in time too. You have to remember that there were 7 Bigfoots picked up when Mount St. Helens or Mount Rainier exploded in Washington, and when the volcano blew up, and the helicopters came from Area 51 and picked them up and took them back. So, you know, that's all over the internet. And you have to remember that also with Melba Ketchum, what they did to her and Josh Gates. She had hair. She said it was an unknown. It came back as an unknown primate. And boom, they slammed down on her, and all of a sudden, now it's human hair. Well, you know, this is the whole thing about it. There's too many government sticklers in there. Now, here's another thing. Imagine what it would be like if I did go public. Let's just say I went public without the restrictions and the laws. And I gave them the location. I told them, okay, this is where this thing is at. Imagine what it would do to the forest. We would have every hunter up there shooting each other. We would stop logging. It would cause a whole bunch of problems, money-wise, financial burdens, and I don't want to be part of that either. I'm just not. I just can't do that, and I don't want my family to get shot either.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I always tell people, I'll take you up there. I'm more than happy to take you up there. You know, you go with us or you can follow us, and what you find, if we find anything, you cast it, you can have it. I have enough. I have everything but a body, and I don't even want that. So.
Okay, so, I mean, the gist of it is we know for sure, due to what you have shown us, that Bigfoot is real and it's a Gigantopithecus, right?
It is, sir.
Okay, so that's the proof. So everybody that is watching, everybody that's going to watch this, there you go. I mean, share the show around. Share this episode out there. Let people see, and let's cause a stink, man. Let's cause an uproar. Get some people talking, and see if we can get an explanation to see what people are saying about it. Everybody out there that's watching it, share it, guys. Let's get people talking.
I think we all need, as Bigfoot researchers, all of us need to share our findings and our beliefs and stuff. I kind of feel like everybody's at odds with each other. I'm gonna find it before you are, or you're gonna find it before I am, or whatever. I think if we could do this as a collective unit, we would all be much happier. We would be this much closer to it. You know, right now I have 2 people on my group, and I've already been burned by family once, and I think I've explained that to you, Wayne, once. I wrote you, and yeah. I don't want a whole bunch of people in my group. I just don't. I don't trust people, first of all, and I don't want to get burned again. And I'm very skeptical of people. You know, when they say, "Well, I would like to join." Well, I don't take members. I do this on my own. I don't mind sharing with you and taking you out and letting you find something or do whatever you want to do. But I just can't. As a member, to me is I'm going to bring you in my house and I'm going to show you all my evidence, and which I share anyways. I shared with you guys last week one of my prized possessions. That was my handprint. I mean, that's my pride and joy. you know, and I get to the point where, you know, I don't mind showing what I have, but all of us need to come together and share what we have. We shouldn't be so closed-minded. And you know, people write me every day and say, "What do you think of this?" and "Look at this picture," and "What do you think of that?" I'm an honest guy. I'll give you my honest opinion, what I think it is. That's not necessarily what you think it is, because what I've taken pictures of doesn't necessarily, when you see it, you can say that looks like a bear print, or that looks like a pile of poop, or that looks like some kind of weird footprint from a duck or a bird. Okay, that's fine. That's your opinion, but I know what I've seen. People call me a hoaxer. They've painted hoax on my garage door across my, you know, it doesn't bother me anymore. It really doesn't bother me anymore because I know what I've seen. So,
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I just 2-3 minutes ago told everybody, share it around, get people talking, let's get the word out there. And if as a consequence of that, people will start coming after you, or coming after me, or coming after Ricky, and you know, attacking our character and bashing us and calling us liars and all this stuff. That's the problem with the Bigfoot world. If that happens, it'll be because they're not the ones that broke it. They're not the ones that found the hair
that's right.
and turned it in. They're not the ones holding the show with you on it, telling the world what Bigfoot is. No shadow of no doubt. That's what Bigfoot is. Bigfoot is Gigantopithecus, and they
Absolutely.
aren't the ones that broke it. So that's where the ridicule is going to come from.
I'm sure everybody, Mr. Weaver, you look like you're in a daze over there. You all right, sir?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
I'm not. I don't feel like I'm trying to give you as much as I can. If you want to ask me questions, sir, please blurt it out, and I'll be quiet.
Oh, no problem.
All right, sir. So here's the thing about it is, you guys. Now let's go back to the Patterson-Gimlin film. Okay, so we had a bunch of shaky, you know, video and all that. I'm sure everybody knows who M.K. Davis is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has everybody seen what he has done with that film and stabilized it and allowed us to see the actual Patty walking across? She has breasts.
Mm-hmm.
She has a Brazilian butt. She's got the whole thing going. You know, I've talked to people. Well, I think the Patterson-Gimlin film is fake. Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't. I think it's 100% absolutely. And you put beige hair on that creature, and that's exactly what I saw in the forest. Except for he didn't have breasts. So I will tell you, he had another anatomy though. So, you know, you got these people out there that are gonna bash anyways. So it doesn't matter what you give, what you produce, how you produce it, they're always gonna bash you. And I think, and I'll tell everybody right now, Patterson-Gimlin film is 100% accurate.
The mystery was solved in 1967.
That's right, when it was filmed.
That was our answer.
Yeah,
right there.
I agree. So yeah, I agree with that. So you know, I to this day, you know, I've watched that, and I think M.K. Davis is a person of that takes the Bigfoot seriously. There's another gentleman out there that I really like. It's Thinker Thunker.
Mm-hmm.
He tears things apart and breaks them down. He did a really great one on I think it's the Yosemite, where the Bigfoot was with the buffalo. I watched that one. I've watched it several. Thinker Thunker is a great thing. And I'm gonna mention one more person, okay, sir? And I know this is your show.
No, go ahead.
We share our information when we find something in paranormal wise. Like my wife does all the paranormal stuff. Now we've seen a lot of paranormal stuff in our lifetime. We've filmed paranormal stuff. We've got EVPs. We've got, you know, headless bodies, or I'm sorry, bodies with no heads. We've got EVPs. We have a fireplace opening. There's a lot of EVP stuff and a lot of spiritual paranormal stuff. But when you start getting into like stuff like dogmen, which UFOs, now the Northern California Bigfoot Paranormal, our primary is Bigfoot and Paranormal. But if you go to our webpage, the third category we do is UFOs. So we have a little bit going on down there where you can give your report, but down at the very bottom, if you click on there's a MUFON report down there. And if you click on the MUFON report, it takes you right to the link for MUFON, which is a Mutual Unidentified Flying Object Network. And you can do the whole report, and it's extensive, and it will be investigated. Now, when we find something out in the forest that's a little bizarre, like a dog man, we took pictures. I send those pictures to Devlin, and she's at the Northern American Dogman Project, the NADP. So if you guys ever have a dogman question or encounter, go to her Facebook page, please, and give her a click and send her the information. That's who we send our dogman sightings to, or our reports to, that we get a dogman sighting. Okay, so that's it. I threw my 4 people out there. All right, and of course,
That's fun.
and you, Wayne, we met a few months ago. I've appreciated everything that you've done, for me, allowing me to come on your show, and we started on a good note, and I trust you. I trust your group. And Mr. Weaver, I just met you, but you're part of a good group here with Wayne. And I know that I think you're the part of the original party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are the original Bigfoot guy. I am the original Bigfoot guy here. Been doing this for 27 years. And when you've been doing it so long, people always ask you, well, why do you still do it? You've never found one. Because once you see one and it's in your blood, it's just like a drug. It's an addiction.
That's exactly it. Like I told Wayne, and everybody, since 1981, this has been a passion of mine, and I have sought after this thing all these years, and I will continue to do so. I guess until I take my last breath. And as you pointed out earlier, it doesn't matter what we bring forth. Your evidence, my evidence, anything Wayne gathers, there are going to be people out there that are going to be doubters, and they're going to be haters. They're going to do everything they can do to prove everything that we tell them is a downright lie. I mean, that's the way people are. But it's because of that I continue doing what I do, and I will continue from now on. It's in my blood, as you say, and that's basically about the sum of it.
Yeah, and it's almost like a drug. To me,
Yeah.
it's a drug. I get so wrapped up sometimes, and this is my calm me. You guys should see me when I'm outside, boy. I'm fired up, buddy. I'm a wild man when it comes to people, and I love people's stories. I tell them, look, you got a story, send it to me in an email. I give them my card and say, look, here's my email. Send it to me, and I promise I won't. Nobody will read it. It's just going to be the members. I don't post anybody's stories because I know what ridicule's like. I know how to be. Being harassed is a horrible feeling, but you walk away knowing what I did, what I've seen, and people will walk up to you and they'll nudge you and they'll say, hey, I got a story for you. And I say, okay. He goes, you're not going to believe me. And that's usually their first words out of their mouths. You're not going to believe me. Oh, yeah, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe you.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Mr. Josh Meyer that's watching the show tonight, he met a guy on Facebook just last night, I believe, and he introduced him to me through Facebook, and we had a chance to talk a little bit. And this guy had an amazing sighting, an awesome encounter, but he doesn't want to come on.
Nope.
I can't blame him. He doesn't want to come on because it was over 20 years ago, and he's been nothing but ridiculed ever since, and he just doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I can't blame him. I told the guy that we would love to have him. We would protect his identity if he wanted to, but it's a shame that people go through that. He has an awesome story that could tell us a lot, but assholes have ruined it.
I didn't want to say that word. I'm glad you said it first.
Yeah.
Well, that's the truth, guys. It's everything about Bigfoot and Bigfoot research is, it doesn't matter what we do. If we had a body, supposedly some of us brought a body in and we laid it out, they're going to find something wrong with it.
Exactly.
It's not going to matter.
It's those.
because the government does not want
That's right.
the existence of these things to be out there.
That's right. And also, you got to remember that when people like these guys that had the Bigfoot in the freezer, and they were given them supposedly wanted $1 million for this thing in the freezer, and they finally unthought it ended up being a cow tongue with cow eyes and a monkey suit. It makes not only people like that, it makes us look bad. It really does, because people are, oh, you're a Bigfoot researcher. Oh my God. So if we ever did find one, it would take almost an act of God to get somebody to come out and help you. So, and I had that issue in '93 when I saw mine. I had that issue. I couldn't find anybody come help me. You know, I ended up having an actor come out and help me, and I finally got Al Hodgson, who was a key instrument in helping me know all this, learn how to cast prints and stuff like that. And since then, I've met some of the best names in the world. I do, sir. I think they'll arrest me. I really do. If that's what you're asking me, I really do think they'll arrest me, unless you have something to tell me otherwise. But I really do. The threats go deep. So, and I don't want to lose my home, and I don't want to be known as a hoaxer and discredited. So, yeah, I think they'll arrest you. I've had them in my face, so I know exactly. I've had the fish and game in my face several times. You need to leave this position. You need to get out of here. Take off. We don't want you here. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I know I should write a book. I did write a book about my childhood. There is a book out there that I wrote a long time ago. It's about my childhood and how I was raised. It's a lot of paranormal stuff. You can just put my name in Google and it'll pop up.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, if you wanted to put that out there, go ahead, man. If you want to give it a plug.
My problem is, sir, is that the book was a therapy session for me. If you knew my background, you would understand a lot of things about me. My father was an extremely bad man, and he was just a bad man. And when I got out of the military, I needed some therapy, and I sat down with my wife and a therapist, and they said, put it in a book and put it out there. I put it out there. And then people were writing me, telling me after they read the book, they were having bad luck. So my wife and I pulled the book. So, because it's all paranormal stuff. We've been in the paranormal stuff for a long, long time. We bought special cameras. We bought all the things they have on TV. And this is how I know personally that the government does not get involved with paranormal stuff. They only get involved with UFO and Bigfoot stuff. They could care less whether you go and talk to dead bodies and spirits. They could care less. Who cares? Maybe they should think about maybe somebody meeting up with John F. Kennedy and finding out who the second gunman was in the grassy knoll. But they don't care about paranormal. But man, you mention a Bigfoot or a UFO, and they're knocking on your door. And
what does that tell you?
It tells me they got some conspiracy theories out there that are true. My first government conspiracy theory that I started even really looking at was the 9/11 tapes. And then finding out that the Area 51 and the red and white mystery planes out of Las Vegas, and going to Area 51 and the volcano up in Mount St. Helens or Mount Rainier when they pulled Bigfoot out of there. Why not? Why are they hiding all this stuff? The government conspiracy, I don't know why they keep doing this. They've killed off all the good animals, or I shouldn't say good animals, all the animals that they're calling extinct. We've killed them off. Human beings are cruel. We've killed them off. So, the Tasmanian dog or tiger or whatever in Australia, gone. But here just recently, within the past few years, they found pictures. People have been taking pictures of them. When I go research of your NorCal.
Yeah,
Mr. Bretcham, I am no longer.
I know.
This was my last. This was a family thing. NorCal Squatchers, and I'm no longer with that group. I am with NCBPRA now. So NorCal Squatchers is a closed. You can go to YouTube and put in NorCal Squatchers, and there are some things in there from my past. That was a family thing, and like I said, I got out of that pretty quick. So there was.
Now, what were you saying, Ricky?
Okay, Daryl, there's one here. It says, I know it's still a cryptid, but maybe it should be on the protected species ASAP. Well, one thing about this is the fact that is one reason the government does not want to acknowledge the truth behind Gigantopithecus, Bigfoot, or whatever being a living, breathing creature, is the fact that it would destroy so many industries within the United States at this time. Logging industry for number one, number two, anything to do with what we're dealing with right now as far as the game and fish is concerned, all of your outdoor activities, they would lose millions of dollars on this if this was actually proven to be a real live creature.
Right. There's Skamania County in Washington has declared Bigfoot as an endangered species, that you can't shoot one. That's not a secret. That's been out for years. Okay, so if the government puts those things out, and I'm going to try to throw a wrench into that question just a minute ago. If the government were to come out and call it an endangered species, that means they're admitting that it exists. And they don't want to admit that it exists, so they're not going to put it on the endangered species. So Skamania County, Washington, they put it on an endangered species list. It's up there. I mean, it was many, many years ago. So they'll admit that it's real, but the actual physical government will not put it on an endangered species list, because then they admit that it's real. It's like when Bill Clinton came out and said, well, Area 51 exists, and yeah, there's special planes there. Well, we know what's there. Everybody knows what's there. Now it's Area 52 in Utah. So, I mean, they'll never admit to it. They'll never admit to it. It's just like you said, Mr. Weaver, they're not going to admit to it because it's going to put such a financial strain on the government when they have to shut down logging. We can't have homes built in plastic anymore. They haven't made, they can do it in steel, but, who wants to live in a steel home? Everything has to be stick built. So they're not going to stop it. They're not going to have people out in the forest shooting each other either. So yeah, that was a good question. That was a very good question. I appreciate that one. That was a good question. Loch Ness is the same way. You can go out and look for Loch Ness monster, but you see it, but
right. But are they ever going to admit to it?
They're never going to admit to it. Lake Champlain they have Champ. Champ is the Loch Ness. Now, if you ever did your research on Champ and Loch Ness monster, Lake Michigan, where Champ is at, or Champagne Lake, where in Michigan, they're bottomless. And if you really figure it out, they can travel through the Earth's core, from Loch Ness to Lake Champlain. So why couldn't it be the same monster?
That's interesting. I've never thought about that.
How about the orange pendek? Orange pendek, they live up in the forest ground, and the monks that live up there say they see him all the time. And then you've got Putin himself, the president of Russia. If you guys do a Google search, he saw an actual family of Yetis. That's in the newspaper. You just look up Putin and the Yetis, and it's there. He saw a family.
Really?
Absolutely, sir. I would not tell you a fib. Putin saw a family of them. He was in a helicopter and flew right over the top of them. Roosevelt, the President Roosevelt, he was hired on by the Barnum and Bailey Circus to do a search for Bigfoot. That's how far back this goes. Did you know that in 1492, when Christopher Columbus was coming across, they actually saw a Bigfoot, a giant hairy man? He wrote about it.
I never heard that.
He writes about it. They write about it, these hairy men that they saw, these giants. So the Bigfoot's been around a long time. They just won't admit to it. So
You there, Daryl?
there we go. I'm not sure if my viewers did, sir, but here we go. But anyway, the whole government, you guys, it will always be in Bigfoot and in UFOs will be your worst enemy.
Yeah, I agree. We're coming up on an hour, Daryl. Anything else you wanna leave us with before you get out of here?
I just like to tell everybody thank you, and thank you, Wayne and Mr. Weaver. Thank you guys for allowing me to be on your show. I hope what I said was informative. I'm sorry for my stuttering words. I will tell you why I stutter like this is because I have had 2 heart attacks, and I've also had a quadruple bypass surgery. My bypass surgery was actually a year ago this month. And my 2 heart attacks kind of wiped out a lot of my vocabulary. So I'm a very educated man. I am actually I was in the military for a long time. I am a couple of years at UNLV, running rebels. And I'm an educated man, but when you have heart attacks, it kind of wipes you out a little bit. So, and I apologize for the stuff.
I wouldn't have even known that if you hadn't told me.
Well, yeah. And I appreciate if you all could, go to the NCBPRA, which is the Northern California Bigfoot Paranormal Research Adventures. Our adventures team. There it is. Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate it, sir. And just give me an email and tell me how I did tonight. I would appreciate it if I could get somebody to scream out at me and let me know how I did. I appreciate it.
Daryl, you done a wonderful job, man, and we really appreciate you bringing forth the information that you shared with us and with our viewers. And anytime you have anything or come across anything new that you think our viewers might be interested in, you're more than welcome to come back and join us at any time.
All right, sir. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, I have the feeling that this is not the last time you're going to be on, Daryl.
And I want to tell you, Wayne, before I hang up, if I get any reports back in your direction, I'm going to forward them to you, and I'll let your investigators take over because obviously I'm not here. And the same goes for if you get any out this way. I'd appreciate it if you could send them to me and
Absolutely.
and any evidence that I find, you guys, I'll be more than happy to send you guys any pictures and any stuff that I find. All right.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. You have a good evening, sir.
God bless you guys and have a great night, okay?
Hey, Daryl, and thank you very much, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There it is.
Hey,
What do you think about that?
If this doesn't open people's eyes, nothing will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. I'm gonna say it again, guys. Let's get some people talking. Let's stir some stuff up. Stir some, you know what, up. Get people talking. I mean, that's the proof. Everything that he read tonight, I have a copy of. I have seen every bit of it. I don't even know what to say. I mean, Bigfoot is Gigantopithecus. I mean, you know now what Bigfoot is. Ricky knows. I know. Anybody that watched this show knows. So spread the word. Let's let everybody know. And we'll take the haters. Bring the haters on. I don't care. I'm a big boy. We don't have anything to hide. We haven't lied about anything. I don't have any skeletons in my closet. So let them come on. But guys, share this episode. Tell everybody. And if they don't believe you, tell them to watch this episode, and we have the proof.
Exactly it.
All right. You got anything else before we let everybody go, Ricky?
Just want to thank everybody. And again, folks, please be careful out there. Anytime you're out in the wilderness, even in your backyards nowadays, if you encounter one of these things, just please back out. Let him have the area. Be safe.
Absolutely. You say it every week. Say it every week, Ricky, and it don't change how true it is. Guys, we appreciate it. Thank everybody for watching, and again, guys, help us out. Hit that subscribe button. Share this episode everywhere that you can. Tell people about it. Everybody, yeah, let's get people talking. Appreciate everybody being here tonight and everybody that's gonna watch it later. Guys, everybody out there, y'all be good to each other.
Thank you
See
guys
ya.
for your time.